Right, welcome back to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, do I start this video going, whoa, whoa, whoa? No, I don't. I'm not going to say... I'm not going to say like I told you so or anything like that, because we don't know whether this was always the case. But it would seem Spider-Man is back with Disney and Marvel. Sony and Disney have managed to strike a deal. I long went on record and said that I thought this would happen. I'm not going to say I told you so. There's literally no point. But I always thought this was the case. Especially because, again, we do have the re-release happening. Or has happened. And now we got this again. Now it says only for one more movie, but that could be ideal, right? Because we also have some news that there's a Madam Web movie in the works over at Sony. So it could be that what they're looking to do is set up the multiverse, or at least the Spider-Verse for Sony's Spider-Man universe, and just have him exit that way. Could be. Now, as far as I'm aware, Tom Holland, I'm not overly sure how many more movies he has signed up. It would appear from this article in Hollywood Reporter that he has 2 more films, apparently. But it could be that he's got one with Marvel and Disney, and then one with Sony. But let's get into it, okay? And again, draw your own conclusions. I definitely think that, you know, the breadcrumbs were there for us all to think that this is bound to happen anyway, but who knows? Now, the 2 studios are once again working together, with Tom Holland's hero set to star in 2 more movies. Spider-Man is back in action. After publicly parting ways over a deal gone south, Disney, Marvel and Sony are back at the table and have struck a deal that would see Marvel produce another Spider-Man film for Sony, and the film even has a release date. So it looks like they're doing one movie with Sony, and then Tom Holland's Spider-Man will be in one movie with the other Marvel Cinematic Universe characters. I am thrilled that Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and I, and all of us at Marvel Studios, are very excited that we get to keep working on it. This is from Kevin Feige. Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and audiences around the globe. He also happens to be the only hero with the superpower to cross cinematic universes. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold, which does kind of go hand in hand with what I've just said. It sounds like they're going to be kind of continuing on in that vein, setting up a Spider-Verse and having him pop in and out here and there. Could be. Could be. Because, again, if you didn't know, ladies and gents, a Madam Web film is in the works over at Sony. It's got its writers and it's ready to go. Which, I'd be all game for seeing that, to be honest. Madam Web was pretty cool. Now, also as part of the arrangement, Spider-Man will appear in a future Marvel movie. In 2015, Marvel and Sony unveiled an unprecedented intra-studio partnership that produced not only 2 well-regarded and massive hits with Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, but it also took the character whose movie rights are owned by Sony and put him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where the character became one of its key players. I'm really intrigued to hear why this happened. Because, again, if we get into it, right, it says the partnership between Sony and Marvel has been very fruitful at the box office. Homecoming made $880 million and featured Marvel character Iron Man, while Spider-Man was a key part of 2018's Infinity War and had a small but powerful role in Endgame. Now, they obviously grossed $2 billion, and then we had Far From Home was $1 billion movie for Sony. And then it all started to fall apart. So there was plenty of incentive to drive the 2 studios to return. And yeah, that's why it seemed so outrageous that Disney wanted like a, what was it, 50-50 split, when they own 100% of the rights for the merchandise, which is a huge lucrative. It's more lucrative than movies are, actually. There was plenty of incentive to drive the 2 sides to return. Shared revenue of box office receipts notwithstanding, the success of Spider-Man also drives other lanes. Sony, for example, has a slate of Spider-Man-centric characters that are in the early stages of getting their own movies, with Venom already a hit and a sequel to start shooting in November. I know a lot of people say Venom wasn't a hit. Financially it was. It made like I think it made about 880 million or something like that. Or 850 anyway. So it is a hit financially. Now, Morbius, another title based on a Marvel character, is in post-production, which I'm keen to see how that turns out. I am keen to see how that turns out. I'm not a massive fan of Jared Leto. I know that's not how you say it. But I am still keen to see how that turns out. Now, the slate has benefited from Spider-Man's popularity. There is also Sony's Spider-Man video game franchise, which is one of the more popular games currently in circulation, which it is. So Marvel, meanwhile, gets to capitalize on merchandising, but perhaps more importantly, it gets to keep creative control over its most popular character, something it did not have during the years that saw the studio, then run by Amy Pascal, make critically maligned movies and thus protect the brand. So that's the thing, right? What are they getting from this deal? I hate to say it, like I don't want to say I told you so, but I just think there's an awful lot here that indicates this was always going to be the case, and they've just, you know, bid their time and waited. Like original article, you know, why Sony thinks it doesn't need Kevin's playbook anymore. Again, they were looking for at least a 30% stake, but originally it was like 50. They got it down. Something about all of this just feels like setup. It just feels like theatrics. You know, it just feels like people playing up the narrative. We had Tom Holland's Spider-Man unfollowing Sony on Instagram like a petulant child. He's not a petulant child, so why would he do that? Because it's all set up, it's buzz, it's to get people talking. Why would he be sat there with, Robert Downey Jr. setting up little things which he knew would be picked up by the press, little photos of himself saying we did it. Iron Man, do you know what I mean? Things like this. It screams of setup. Even the initial report, the deal that Disney wanted, screams of complete nonsense and setup. And everyone in the industry has said it. The fact that they wanted like a 50-50 split. No. When they have all the merchandising rights. Anyone in the industry looked at that and said, that is utter nonsense. What are you doing? We even had Jeremy Renner jumping into it all. We even had Jeff Goldblum speaking at some awards. I can't remember what award. I think it was D23. It all screams like setup. And now, absolutely unequivocally, we know that they are back working together. How long for? Who knows? We know that they're going to do one movie, one standalone movie, and then potentially a team-up movie. Which could, again, if we're looking at the wider Marvel narrative, could this be pairing it up with Captain Marvel? Or could this be the shake-up that Marvel is rumoured to be having, where they are looking to get rid of other characters that were potentially thought to be the leaders of the cinematic universe moving forwards, but then they've since realised that they're probably not the best. I think this will be really interesting and telling to see how this develops and moves forward. But what do you guys think? Given all of the evidence, given everything that has come out surrounding this film, the theatrics, the drama, the very immature behaviour of certain people that is very out of character of their actual human characters, what do you think? Do you think this was all set up and posturing and bluster for this, to get people talking about it even more? What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do let me know down below in the comment section. If you are new here, then please do make sure you hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture, movie news, movie reviews, and also just deep dives on the industry like this by hitting the bell notification icon. Also, just a PSA, please everyone hit that bell notification. There's so many people that don't get notified because what YouTube does is it will essentially notify what it thinks you want to watch rather than just everything. So there will be things that you do miss. In fact, I did a Project Car video this week on Wednesday. Please do go and check that out. It even has its own playlist. A lot of people have been missing those because if you never watched one before on the channel, and again, you may not be into cars, but you may enjoy the vlogs, please do go and check them out. Anyway, I've rambled enough stuff. Give this video a like and a share. Please do support the channel by liking, sharing videos, hitting subscribe. We've got Patreon down below as well, and merch underneath every single video. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I've been Mr. H. Take care.